Hello, folks. Welcome back. We're going to go into our third matchup of the day, Epyon versus the Rambozos. Where exactly do we sit in the brackets right now, Kret?
We are currently looking at the round of 16. So after this, teams will be moving on to round of 8, round of 4, and then the round of 2, which is the finals, and a best of 3.
That always throws me off.
Yeah, I know.
The round of 2 is the last round.
Because there are
sounds like
two teams.
the second to last round.
I guess, but
they need to simplify that. I don't like that. Should be the round of 1.
But that would be when you only have one team. That's after. That's
no,
the awards.
you only have one winner. One winner.
Then we would be in the round of 8, and that would be horribly confusing.
No, then we'd be in the round of 8 minus 4, so it'd be like the round of 4 because there's only 4 winners.
No, because we're in the round of 16 right now.
Well, then we'd be in the round of 8. That'd be fine. We only have 8 winners.
All right.
Makes sense to me, just like this Arachne ban coming out from Epyon. Nobody really wants to deal with that. Mercury. That's all the analysis I need to do about that.
Yeah,
Nuwa?
Mercury, yep.
Nuwa doesn't really... Nuwa has that global presence. And Zhonghui, Rambozos just don't like to deal with Zhonghui. He's a hassle. And that's what we see that... I'm going to go ahead and dub that a hassle ban. I'm okay with that.
Sure. I mean, as much like Aphrodite was for a long time. It's just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with Aphrodite. Or Agni. Agni being the original hassle ban by COG, where in there, this was when they were undefeated in the Path to Smite launch. It was like, why do you guys ban Agni every game? And it's like, he is a dash. We don't like him. Good reason to ban someone. Don't like him.
Geb being a top pick for Epyon. Love that pick. Giannis and Apollo. So strong choices overall as far as generally accepted tier list, right? These characters are generally top tier, and Athena going to round it out. I want to comment on how quickly everybody's picking. These teams are very confident in what they want to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of confidence coming out here.
It's like a chess timer, speed run.
It is. It's great, and maybe it gives them, I don't know. Doesn't give them any real advantage, but when you pick fast, sometimes it can throw your opponents off. So that's going to be a Thor locked in for the Rambozos. Looking at that in the jungle, something that Grishank can play quite well. Epyon could be setting themselves up for Loki jungle. We saw a Thor-Loki matchup earlier today, and it went in the Loki's favor, but the Thor didn't really push his advantage. And so a Grishank being a very seasoned jungler is likely going to be able to do that, and it does... With that Scylla hover, it does look like Loki jungle.
It does look like Loki jungle. The Neath, if we go the way of Scylla, I really like the Neath pickup. I love the Neath Scylla synergy. It's a lot, and it's... I'm not sure I would call it underlooked because it's so obvious, Kret, but it's definitely underutilized. And we are going to see that Neath Scylla pick.
Neath in general is just an underutilized character, which is a real shame. I mean, our production person, Moji, is actually a really big proponent of Neath. Just favorite character, hands down, favorite ADC, legendary. Rambozo is looking at their last pick, hovering on Hell.
That's not going to happen. It doesn't... It is going to happen. All right.
So every L.
Here's my mentality. You're going to have Giannis in the middle. And Athena... Okay, so Thor is a little thicker than normal. So... I'm okay with the Hell pickup. I still don't like it. Hell is one of the only characters not to be played at all in the SPL.
I actually love this pick, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so you've seen the Ra Scylla matchup, right? Where Scylla gets absolutely bodied because Ra heals the creeps.
Right.
If it's Scylla solo, that will happen. Like, worse, because
of course
Hell will heal the creeps. And then Ra versus Hell can actually win that pretty hard too, because Ra's like, yeah, I'm gonna heal, and Hell's like, great, I'm gonna blow you up and I'm gonna heal better than you. She is such an extreme character in that she is extremely high burst, extremely high healing, and is extremely vulnerable, but Hell is countered not by her lane opponent generally, but by the jungler.
Yes.
And Loki is a bad jungler. He's very good if you're a good Loki, but he's not good at jungling in general. He doesn't have great clear.
Good at killing vulnerable mages.
Right.
And Hell is nothing if not a vulnerable mage. So because Thor has a lot of control for a jungler, and Athena is Athena, and Giannis is as safe as he is, I would like this Hell pick a little bit more if Loki was not jungling. I think that is my number one concern.
But, so here's the thing about that. Loki's jungle has a power gap where it's just like, yeah, Loki's farming slowly and not that effective yet. So, like, yes, if you see an assassinate into a raw snipe well-coordinated, Athena will, or Hell will die. And that's probably just going to mean early beads from Meerkat or early actives if we see that. And this is the Challengers Cup. These teams aren't necessarily going to be playing at the highest level. Dig would do that. Guaranteed. If they were running Loki jungle, and Lassus would. But that's not necessarily guaranteed. And the thing is, Hell's late game is actually just incredible. She is the ultimate sustain for your team and is very hard to dive because she can turn around so much damage onto you.
Yeah,
and then she dies.
It's tough. I think Hell is still on thin ice here.
Yes.
We'll take a look how Rambozos work out. I think that'll be a big big deal in this matchup. Either Hell's going to survive and it'll really help out, or Hell will just suffer the consequences of being Hell. First time we're seeing her in competitive play. Stay tuned to see how it finds out. Welcome back, folks. Epyon versus the Rambozos is the teams that we're going to watch today. At the moment, Epyon in blue, Rambozos in the red. Kret, introduce us to our teams.
I'm wearing blue, but yeah. So in on the order side, it's going to be Epyon, played by Shadow Chair on your Scylla. Could be mid or solo, hard to tell. Probably mid. Dougie going to be playing Neath in the Hunter role. Dino261, the support Geb. Dailies probably on your solo lane Raw. And Loki definitely in the jungle, played by your Nobody. On the other side, it's going to be the Rambozos. You've got Chris Pocket, your support Athena, the Paradox, aka Ben, your Hunter Apollo, Grishank, jungle Thor, Aduro, formerly of Dignitas, on mid lane Yenis, and Meerkat taking up the rear on solo lane Hell.
Chris Pocket is a very, very, very scary Athena, so that is probably who I'm going to be looking at this matchup. The Athena from Chris Pocket can really make everyone on his team better, which a good Athena tends to do.
Yeah. Well, and also, honestly, Hell is very similar. In the late game, she is sort of a moving AoE burst.
Yeah.
Because it's basically all PB AoE. You land that 3-1 combo, which is going to be centered around her, and then somewhere probably close to her, because that one's honestly kind of hard to hit. And then it's all about healing and speeding people up and cleansing. She is basically a salvation, a heavenly agility, and a beads in the late game in her white stance.
A lot of support coming out. Ideal solo laner, honestly. Just somebody that can farm up and then impact team fights a lot in the late game.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it works out for the Rambozos, or as we sort of half predicted, Kret, she could suffer a lot of focus coming out of the jungle.
So what you mean is feed uncontrollably. Yeah, that's really the big downside for Hell, because she honestly has some really strong matchups. If you recall, a while ago when Chunga was very strong, Hell is one of the hardest counter picks, because Chunga's game plan is, I'm going to sustain myself, and I'm going to poke you. And Hell's like, cool, that's my game plan too, and we operate the same range, except I do more damage and I heal better. Like, she's actually just a better Chunga in the laning phase. No Waxing Moon, obviously, but the non-ultimate skills were straight up better versions. That said, the reason it didn't work out is because you get ganked and you feed. Now, Meerkat is going to be left alone very early on. Grishank rotating to the speed buff and taking that one. This is a standard Rambozos play. Aduro's going to rotate over as well, just pick up some experience. And the thing is, Meerkat is now getting solo farm.
This is every single time the Rambozos play. You get the rotation over the speed camp. Aduro comes over after pushing on the tower and throws an ability over the wall of the speed camp. Every single time we cast them, they do this play, Kret. Somebody needs to just note this and play against it specifically.
And that will happen eventually. That's something that we're going to see probably in the finals, where there are teams that are coming and they're like, all right, we're going to make it to finals. We're going to be up against Rambozos, maybe the semifinals, and they're going to be prepared. And that will happen eventually, because they honestly do this every game. In the solo lane, Hell's up a level already. And the other thing about Hell that's incredible is she scales so well with experience, because you don't necessarily have to level her ult. you don't necessarily have to invest too many points into her too, the hinder and cleanse. It's really as much as you feel will be useful. And based on that, Meerkat can adjust his power spike, and that's really interesting.
So
the ability to adjust it.
So with Hell, do you sort of rank her up like an Uller, where you just put 3 in 1?
You can.
Or do you also invest 1 point into some of your other abilities?
You can do both. If you want to stay in lane forever, you'll take a rank of your ult. If you don't, you won't. If you think you'll need the cleanse for the jungler, which probably he doesn't have to, but he certainly could get a rank of his 2. That can be good, and you know the 2 also is a penetration debuff, so that can be really strong. Your nobody is going to take a double tap there, not too much damage, as it looks like Grishank is leveling the Berserker Barrage, but will be forced to go invisible. Mid camp's coming up soon. Left camp going to be taken solely by Grishank, and he's going to go up in the air. He's looking for a fight here. The question is, where will he come down? Aduro getting absolutely destroyed, but Grishank lands on top. Big damage on Monster coming through. Again, your nobody gets low. Athena ults in, but can they turn it around? No, it's just going to be the death from Aduro and the first blood going to Epyon.
Just a little too slow on Grishank or fast on the middle lane, depending on how you want to look at it. Well, just slightly off the mark.
And also, honestly, disrespect. I mean, the Geb Scylla ultimate was kind of going to happen. Like, that's obvious. And there's stuff that Aduro could have done to create an outplay in that situation, like precast his ultimate for the CC immunity. He just didn't do any of it, and then he just got combo killed. So very strange.
If that ultimate came down from Thor a little bit earlier and we engaged, that was a much different fight. Not how it goes, though. Epyon picks up first blood. Team in blue leading by not too much. Actually, technically trailing. But they do have that first blood, and that's going to be important.
Yeah, they're trailing because of the dual lane, where Paradox was actually able to force Dougie to back. Does have a level advantage, and that's going to be big, because Paradox is going forward into his Devourer's Gauntlets. We'll be able to recall and get those after stealing this blue buff, or at least trying.
Dougie's coming around the corner, looking to make something happen. Gets it, doesn't get it, though he does use the Spirit Arrow there for a good root. Chris Pocket here, along with the middle laner, Aduro taunts into the Unstable Vortex, but no one taunted into it, so no damage.
That root was one of those minor victories. The root actually forced the buff onto Athena.
Yes.
At the very least, there's that, right? So the buff doesn't go to Apollo. He's forced to take his own blue buff when he wants to keep his mana back up. Paradox now taking a fair amount of damage. And honestly, he should be going back already. Now, in the solo lane, damage onto dailies as Thor comes in, but the movement speed from Ra too much. And Meerkat running out of mana, not able to confirm those kills. Yet assault coming through from Aduro. He's not going to commit to the full rotation. Meerkat will recall, seeing his opponent leave lane. And actually, he's going to wait, get one more wave, and then return to base.
Dual lane picking up their own blue buff now for Epyon. Dino trying to look, or for Rambozos, Dino trying to look for something, just going to get taunted into some damage. Forced out of the Cataclysm is Dino, and he's going to go ahead and get the rollout. A lot of damage onto him, but able to get safely out of there. Quarter health to his name. Rollout just providing way too much movement speed for anybody to really take advantage.
So this is actually a big mistake. Dino uses a health pot and returns to the jungle, which sounds like a good idea. I mean, not going back, starting speed for your jungler, but mid camps are spawning soon, which means that he's still going to have to recall. He's going to have to do it soon, and he won't be able to be there for mid camps. So that could really have a larger effect than it might seem, especially now that he's rolling over to the safe camp. Left mid camp going to go to the Rambozos. And the right mid camp should do the same thing. Actually, Chris Pocket recalling, they assumed that their opponents have taken this, but they assumed a little bit incorrectly. That said, Chris Pocket also does have his ultimate up, so he's able to rotate back in.
Yeah, I think Chris Pocket left there knowing that they'd be able to win the 2-on-1. Even if Loki joins and it's a 2-on-2, Giannis and his partner could really handle that situation, because they know that Gev had the back, just like you analyzed earlier. So nothing too much coming out.
Well, they didn't know that. They should have assumed that he already knew.
Exactly.
Actually, Thor is going to be, I think, receiving... No, it's Defender Olympus over the solo lane. Not going to connect with Meerkat. Big gank there, but Berserker Barrage turning it all around. Getting the 1-for-1, and that's fine. Hell like feeds junglers, yes, we mentioned that, but if you're getting 1-for-1, that's okay because that's even, and you want to just trade even as hell or dominate your lane. Even or snowball is fine. You don't want to feed, and Gold Fury has been started.
Gold Fury has been started by the Rambozos, currently sitting about 500 gold above their opponent. Nothing too large. This will definitely swing it, though. 7 minutes and 30 seconds, we'll see this Gold Fury go down in a matter of seconds. It does fall, and that's going to be the first large lead of the game. Neath here to try and look for something. Gets the spear down through the wall. Chris Pocket leashed now, but Dougie not able to pick it up. So big lead for the Rambozos. 2,200 gold in the lead for the red team.
Well, I mean, the other thing is we mentioned that Hell is going to be demanding rotations, right? But when you demand a rotation in the solo lane, sometimes it just hits you right back in the face and your opponents take the gold trade. That's exactly what the Rambozos did there, bless you. And now Meerkat returning into the solo lane, level 10. And so the power spike for Hell is whenever she maxes her 1 and her 3, which could be as early as now, but it might also be level 12, level 13. Either way, look for Meerkat to make a big impact soon.
Neath pushed up far. No punishment, though. Chris Pocket going to come through the middle entrance. Shadow Chair and a Jiro.
Actually, duo lane. Yeah, this could be really big. Dougie doesn't really have anywhere he can backflip to. And is going to save it until he gets under tower. There's the taunt, pulling him back out. So beautiful. Paradox finds the auto attack. Good job from Dougie to save his backflip.
Right.
But he saw Athena coming on that ward, and he got caught out. Nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, Dougie, I thought he was going to be safe. Pushed up a lot, but Chris's Pocket coming out from the front, just not quick enough on the turnaround.
Yeah, now in the middle lane, you've got Thor lurking around. Big double tap onto Shadow Chair, force use beads, and dash away. But that's going to be another recall coming out, and that's going to mean left mid camp is absolutely free for the Rambozos. Through space and time doesn't do enough damage, but it will, at the very least, interrupt the recall. So Aduro has a very small victory. And right mid camp could go to the Rambozos too because of that.
Yeah, right mid camp should. Not only did you force the support back into the duo lane, but you're gonna force them.
Oh, left lane, Dougie in trouble. Gonna take a lot of damage from the double tap Grishank. There's the backflip, Cataclysm used to disrupt. Dash in, taunt is gonna be on the Geb, but they're gonna be able to burst him down very low, finding the kill with the help of those scumbag archers. Now Scylla rotating over the left hand side, and Loki gonna hold middle lane. Big time on the Dougie. Was that a double tap?
That was just straight Berserker Barrage underneath the tower, Kret. Dougie just... That was more Grishank than Dougie right there. Thor just pushing his luck. And Grishank, we talked a little bit about him, how he can be a good... He can be a really impactful jungler if you give him the opportunity. Right now sitting 2-0-1, Kret. This is exactly the situation that Grishank wants to be in. Meanwhile, Loki, on the other hand, doesn't have a death. He's 1-0-1, but only has 5,000 gold to Grishank 6,400, so definitely a little bit behind, and that is not where Loki wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of inevitable, but I mean, you're going to end up behind as Loki jungle versus Thor if the Thor's playing right, but not this far behind. I mean, it's 1,400 gold, 1,300 gold, still just a huge amount, so your nobody needs to find a way to collect more farm. Is starting to be able to get that going to a Joden's, and with the rank 2 heavy mace, this is really the time where he can start to get those kills, likely with the help of Scylla in that middle lane. I would love to see aggression onto Aduro, who only has beach rank 1.
No Aegis just yet for the Giannis in the middle lane, so Aduro playing it a little bit fast and loose at the moment, kind of can afford to. Level 12 compared to the enemy level 13, so he's down a level, but he's Giannis, so he's extra safe, and his team is doing very well. His jungler most notably very, very far ahead, so sort of depend on the teamwork with respect to your jungler.
Now in the left-hand lane, Paradox sitting at level 13, 3 levels up ahead of his lane opponent, is playing very aggressively and trading aggressively. On the right-hand side, though, Thor could be in trouble. Grishank will receive the Twin of Olympus, able to just barely avoid his snipe, allows the Goomba Stomp to land, and is now looking to get out. Needs to somehow stay alive. The Inspire from Hell could be enough, and that's going to be a Neath ult connecting, but it will not kill. Shadow Chair taken down by the Repulse, and Meerkat just... That's Hell. That's the impact on the team fights.
Very true. The whole time, the Paradox pushing 2 enemy members onto their tower. Dino and Dougie only level 10 and 11 respectively, while the Paradox 6 at level 13, able to push by himself onto the enemy tower. Quite the opposite in middle lane. It's a 2-on-1 instead of a 1-on-2, and Chris Pocket and Aduro going to go ahead and pick up this middle lane tower. Just 12.5 minutes into this contest, folks. Right and left towers are down 50% or less. Middle tower already down, so the Rambozos definitely winning on the front as far as map presence and map control is at the moment. And give us a second. Goldfear is being aggressed on.
Yeah, Goldfear is going to be the target here, and so Dino is actually not going to get stunned out there, but he's not going to have a really good way to secure that. Will be forced out. Berserker Barrage will find the kill. Without the Cataclysm, he has no way to stop Thor. Goldfear goes to the Rambozos. And that's their gold lead. They've got 8,000 gold. They've got 11,000 experience. That's enough. Now they need to transition into taking towers, controlling the map, controlling the jungle, and ending the game. In the solo lane, there's a fight between these two mages. Meerkat is unloading on dailies, but Loki's coming in. Meerkat is now going to be facing a 1v3. We'll be receiving the turn of Olympus. Loki misses the auto attack, repulse damage. Goomba Stomp coming in. That's the taunt. Meerkat finds the kill. Your space and time will allow Thor and Yennis to rotate over. This tower probably not going to go down. Actually, no, it's going to be a dive. Shadow Chair getting low. Inspire used, or Cleanse used. Meerkat, not quite going to get, oh, on monster used. Can he get the hit? Yeah! Beautiful.
Meerkat going absolutely incredibly deep. This is the potential of hell. The potential?
Yeah, totally. The potential.
This is the potential.
Yeah.
Potential. Potential.
Potential.
Hell potential.
Yeah, potential. That's how you pronounce that word.
So
in the dual lane, Paradox is, he actually just dove Dougie with his ultimate, didn't get the kill off of it, but huge wave coming in. This is going to be a kill. So beautiful, auto attacked it.
14.5 minutes in, Rambozo sitting up 10,000 gold. This is, folks, don't forget, Rambozos is the #1 team overall, leading seed points by only 10 over Vicious and Delicious, another one of our very talented teams. But Rambozos definitely a more practiced and more
speed buff
obvious
invade.
team.
Gonna be able to secure it with a through space and time. Now Thor coming down. Dailies will be in trouble. Locked in with the wall. Taken down with the help of the Paradox. Speed buff is such a big deal. Surrender vote comes out, because when you lose your speed buff, you know you've lost the game. That's my metric.
Agreed. Left-hand tower getting aggressed on as well. That's going to fall down 15 minutes. So much destruction, Cret. So much destruction indeed for both teams. So we're going to see a back from Aduro in the left-hand lane. Going to get stopped. Good stop right there on Dougie. This could be a play. Gets a hit, but Aduro gets right through the wall with the portal. Chris Pocket left here to try and protect his teammate, gets the stop on the rollout and the move ahead with the preemptive strike. So Chris Pocket just honestly not running the show for his team like we see normally, but 7 assists with 11 kills on the team. So he's been involved in most of these fights. Chris Pocket just doing what he's supposed to do, whereas I think we need to be looking at Grishank for this one so far.
So I want to look at the Paradox really quick. He's picked up chin size, and the thing is, when you have 6 items, crit is a 6-item build, right? Like, the idea of crit is to get the most damage out of a full build, and it's reliant on having the Rage and the Deathbringer, the Executioner and the Devil Gloves and the Pen Boots, and then 6-item Titan's Bane, Odysseus Bow, whatever. Chin size is good by itself. On the right-hand side, Meerkat fighting 1v2 and winning with Hell using Inspire. Thor comes down. Dailies will get taken down. Meerkat's going to continue to chase the Scylla. That's going to be a Zapman Aegis. Taunted back in. Chris Pocket finds the kill onto 1, and you're nobody getting taken down very low. Chris Pocket wants it, but will not be able to find it. Turning on to Dino261 on the left-hand side. Apollo fighting that 1v1. And he's been winning all games, so that tower very well could go down. This Phoenix on the right also falling. Paradox actually diving.
Left lane Hunter fight. We're going to see Dougie take down by the Paradox. Great play coming out from the Hunter as well. It's interesting. We've seen team fights come out from the Rambozos, and we mentioned Grishank and Hell a lot because they're the ones that we're seeing. All of these kills from the Paradox are 1v1 kills in the solo, in the duo lane, just all by himself, sitting now 4-0, just really telling Dougie how he wants to play this game. Dougie with the opposite slash line, 0-4-1. So Paradox won his lane. Honestly, Rambozos had a lot of good individual play thus far. That's why they're sitting up almost 20,000 gold.
I kind of want to say Epyon was a little ill-equipped to deal with Hell. They didn't really have the strong jungle presence that you need to take her down in the early game, which is so important, because at this point with Warlock Sash max cooldown reduction, and if he felt threatened, Meerkat would max his actives. There's max rank beads, but he doesn't have the second there's max rank Heavenly Dilly. So if he feels threatened, max his actives. At this point, Hell is just incredibly strong. Like, she is super versatile, she's pretty fast, she's got a decent amount of health. Still, low base stats, so gonna be squishier than some other mages, but it's enough. And when you're spamming out that Inspire so frequently and your team is going super fast, you've got the beads for the reset, even with a Weakening Curse, Hell can be rather hard to take down. Not only that, but the Rambozos are aggressively building towards the mid game. Dino caught out, forced to use Cataclysm. Neat ultimate coming through. Grishank gonna find a nice wall into a double tap. Grishank very low, taken down by the snipe, and it looks like this engagement was a little bit too imbalanced. Now Duro in trouble, tries to get out, taken down by the monster, but a big
Shadow
into Paradox coming down from the sky. Here comes Meerkat to help with the cleanup. Shadow Chair taken down. That's enough for the Fire Giant for sure. As I was saying, mid-game itemization, those chin size are much stronger than an Executioner would be in that slot right now.
Exactly.
Once his crit's done, very different.
Exactly how I feel about the Chronos Pendant as well, Cred. If Hell wasn't 4-1 and 8-5 before that engagement, we would have seen a Breastplate of Valor, especially with the Loki in the game. But instead, we build the Chronos Pendant. Great middle of the game thought process coming out for most of the team. Shifter's Shield on Grishank even. Yeah, it's a standard Thor build, but you might see a different item in place of Shifters right here. Maybe completely defensive like a Magi's. Going Shifters again, the focus on the mid-game.
They're waiting for respawns.
Yeah, Rambozos is focusing on winning this game in the next couple of minutes for sure.
Yeah, they waited for the respawns. They're still taking it seriously, because if a team wasn't taking it seriously and they were in that situation, you would hog it after one guy respawns but before the other guy does. So every time, right? But they're taking it seriously. They want to win this quick. They want to win it cleanly. And so that's why they're itemizing towards the mid game. Now you see a Titan's Bane coming out from Grishank, which is, of course, a damage item. But it's also going to mean that he's able to kill Phoenixes very effectively, because when he walks up to a Phoenix, assuming the Titan's Bane is done, he's going to take off 50 protections from the Titan's Bane, and then another 26 from his Jotans and his boots, which results in a comparatively much squishier Phoenix. Engagement on the Gold Fury. Going up in the air is the Paradox. Where is he going to come down onto Dougie, who's just going to take a massive amount of damage here.
Epyon
nice dash in. Yeah, Epyon is able to get that, but at what cost? I mean, getting a Gold Fury is great, but if you lose the game from it, it could be a little bit rough. Shadow Chair will fall into the portal, but able to beads out. Crisp Pocket giving chase. Preemptive Strike. No Weakening Curse, just to confirm this kill. Taunt. Aegis. Ooh, there's the setup. Boom.
Grishank getting another kill for his hammer. That's going to be a 6-1 and 10 Thor. Really just commanding this game are the Rambozos. They're going to go ahead, play it safe, take out one more Phoenix before they completely engage onto the Titan. Paradox doesn't want to listen to that call. Chris Pocket taunts in Dailies, but a good beads, and he'll be portal on his own Phoenix. Dailies picks up the kill onto Grishank. Nonetheless, Titan very, very close to death. Scratch that! It has fallen. 21 minutes of play. Rambozos itemize it, and they get it done. The quick victory go to the red team.
Rambozos will be moving on to the next round match. They are our first seed this week, and looking at the brackets, they're going to be facing off against Sub-Zero in the next round. What could Epyon have done differently in that game? I mean, obviously they needed to find a way to apply pressure to... Right, but how? Like, focus the hell is the generic answer, but how specifically, given their raw solo lane and their Loki jungle and they're still in the mid lane, but up against the Yanis, so he has more rotation pressure, and there's a Athena and a Thor, and in this matchup.
I honestly think it's It's really just that simple, Craig. Focus the hell, make use of the Neath ultimate to set up the Ra stuff, the Scylla stuff, good rotations coming out. Shadow Chair isn't a bad player. I liked what I saw. One thing that I really, really, really liked out of Shadow Chair, start off with Tiny Trinket, build boots first, built Warlock Sash because he knew he needed it.
Yeah.
It's a Scylla. Warlock Sash is not a standard build, especially when you have the Tiny Trinket already involved. Normally we'll see the Tiny Trinket finished out and then an Ethereal Staff thrown on there maybe, but I like the decision to go Warlock Sash. I think that we needed to see more Neath ultimates into other stuff.
Sure.
So I liked the individual play coming out of Shadow Share. I hope that we see a little bit more coming out from this team, because like I said, I think it was just mindset difference, Kret.
It was.
Just didn't get the focus on the hell. How do you do that? Neath, Loki, Ra, Scylla can all kill hell very simply. Unfortunately, ending the game at 4-1 and 11, that's a hell that you're not going to end the life of anytime soon.
Well, and the other thing to mention is the Paradox, aka Ben, just played lights out this game.
Yeah,
so
that happens.
Part of what happens as your Neath, or part of what happens in lane as Neath, is when your opponent is ahead, when your opponent is controlling the lane, sometimes you have trouble ulting at the right time because it's not safe. Like, you take a knee, you look away, and meanwhile, Athena and Apollo are plotting your demise. They hard engage on you, and suddenly a good day goes to a very, very bad day. We're going to be moving on into the round of 8 of our tournament, guys. So back with the quarterfinals. Stay tuned.